How green is hydrogen? That's the question the European Commission needs to resolve as it resumes talks on renewable energy targets today. At issue is whether or not hydrogen derived from nuclear power can be designated as renewable. France, heavily reliant on atomic energy, has been lobbying hard in favour of that. But Germany and Spain oppose it. The French government is especially angry about this because it says it approved plans for a hydrogen pipeline between Spain and France on the basis that its hydrogen would get the renewable label. It's important because classifications of this kind can affect the eligibility for state aid. Now, the European Commission has issued a proposal to solve the problem. To find out what it is and who's happy about it, let's bring in DW reporter Louise Osborne. Louise, welcome along. Thank you for coming. Before we get into the details, maybe you can explain to us, why is this issue of how to designate hydrogen so important?
Hydrogen is seen as the clean energy for the future in Europe. It is something that can be burnt, and the only byproduct that's left behind is water. So this would be great with regards to combating climate change. The issue with it is that it's quite energy intensive to make. So obviously, if the electricity being used to make it comes from renewable, it's green, it's great, you know, we can use it. If it is coming from fossil fuels, then it makes the hydrogen less clean, actually. But there is also another option, and that is nuclear, and that is what France wants to look at for the future, or to bring into the energy mix.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about why this is so controversial. I know France and Germany are on different sides of this question. What's going on there?
So basically, Germany has spent the last decade trying to move itself away from nuclear, shutting down its nuclear plants actually this year. That's the plan. France, however, relies quite heavily on nuclear energy. So 70% of its energy mix comes from nuclear, or its electricity mix. This means that the hydrogen that France would like to be making, they want nuclear to be included in that. And this is something that they are pushing for, whereas Germany is pushing against it. And Germany wants, makes nuclear a little bit... Germany has had nuclear, they are moving away from it because of the issue with regards to things like Fukushima and Chernobyl and the issue of nuclear disasters, but also, because nuclear actually, while it's green in some ways, in that, it's not as carbon intensive as fossil fuels, for example, it also has the issue of nuclear waste being left behind.
OK, sure. So the European Commission has actually come up with a proposal now. What is it saying, and is it a bit of a fudge? What would you say?
So the European Commission doesn't actually want to designate nuclear-derived hydrogen as green, but they are willing to say that it would be low-carbon hydrogen. This would open it up to the possibility of France being allowed to use state subsidies and things like that. And it is, great for France, given the fact that it has such a high nuclear energy in its mix. So this is kind of the compromise that they are reaching, and France sees it as a bit of a win, actually.
Now, the European Union has incredibly ambitious climate targets. It wants to be climate neutral by 2050. Would you say it is on track to achieve that goal?
Well, the problem that it's had is actually that, like you said, it wants to be climate neutral by 2050. Gas was a huge part of moving in that direction. With the war in Ukraine and Russia having cut off gas to Europe, that has caused a lot of problems for the continent. The EU then has been looking for other options, and hydrogen is a big part of that. So they want to move in that direction so that they can get back on track to making sure that they can meet the Paris Agreement goals to reach carbon neutrality by 2050.
OK, so there's an awful lot at stake there. Louise Osborne, thank you so much for breaking it all down for us.